Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Jack Ford. Two disturbing instances of anti-Semitic events are underscoring the rise in hate crimes here in New York and nationwide. On Wednesday, a Jewish psychology professor at Columbia Teachers College was targeted. Elizabeth Medarsky found the walls outside of her office scrawled with spray-painted swastikas alongside the slur Yid. On Sunday, a 9-year-old boy in Hasidic clothes walking home in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, was physically attacked. The NYPD is looking for this man who approached the boy and punched him several times in the face. Police are investigating this as a hate crime and are urging witnesses or anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. Conversely, a search for solutions to erase racism here in New York is happening in a very appropriate location. According to a recent study conducted by Brown and Florida State Universities, Long Island continues to be one of the most segregated metropolitan areas in the United States, ranking 7th among the 50 major metropolitan regions that are deemed as such. Now, in an effort to bridge the divide and desegregate the suburb, a constructive dialogue has begun about building a just Long Island. Here to explain is Elaine Gross, president of the nonprofit group Erase Racism. Elaine, welcome to you. Let me ask you to start by explaining your group, Erase Racism, how it began and what it hopes to do.
Well, we began in 2001, and our focus has always been identifying and addressing institutional and structural racism. And by that, I mean the policies and practices that create racialized, disparate access to opportunities, racialized outcomes and resources, et cetera.
I suspect there are viewers out there that watched and listened to that introduction and may well be astonished by the notion of Long Island being so heavily segregated that it would rank as number 7 among these 50 different locations. Looking at the studies that have been done here by Brown and Florida State and the work that you've been doing, what are they pointing to in terms of answering the question, why?
So the why really relates to how Long Island was developed in the first place. And the poster child for structural racism is Levittown. Many people are unaware that the federal government was squarely behind the inability for African Americans to be able to access mortgages, which would allow them to purchase homes in places like Levittown. And so after World War II, it was a really innovative and exciting time for working people to be able to put a little down and then pay off the mortgage, et cetera. But blacks were barred from that. And in the deeds, the white people who bought the homes were forbidden from reselling their home to someone who was not Caucasian. So that's the root of this very racially segregated region.
One of the things that you want to do, part of this initiative run by your organization, is to create forums, to create conversations, dialogues. Explain what you're hoping to do with that.
Well, we know, since we were started in 2001, we've been educating the public. But what we're doing now is trying to create a region-wide discussion that educates a lot of people at the same time, gives us some common ground in terms of understanding what we're doing, and then tries to activate a lot of people at the same time. So if folks understand structural racism and how it's kind of invisible to most people, and then they have an opportunity to find out, oh, these are things we could do with the schools, these are things we could do in our communities, et cetera. Hopefully we will have a more educated and activated constituency here on Long Island with a loud voice saying, yes, it's been around for a long time, but structural racism is bad in 2018.
So give me a sense of how you are hoping to have these engaging conversations, to raise this level of awareness.
Well, right now we have 5 community dialogues, and we've scheduled those across the island, starting in Hempstead, Melville, Hauppauge, Stony Brook, Riverhead, trying to make it as easy as possible for a lot of different people to spend a couple of hours together. And we have experts, if you will, research and resource people who will form a panel and help the audience get educated. but then a lot of time for the audience to ask questions, to work in small group, et cetera. So it is an interactive process, and we're doing the first set of forums will all be on the same topic, educating them about structural racism. Then we'll have another set of educational opportunities, plus things will be happening in the interim apart from the face-to-face, online activities, et cetera.
Well, it sounds like certainly a powerful initial step to raise awareness. As you said, get people beyond the response saying, I didn't know that, to get them to a point where they say, okay, now what do we do about that? Elaine, my hope is after you move forward on this a little bit, we'll get you back in and you can talk with us some more about how it's all progressing. But I want to thank you for spending some time talking with us today. You be well.
Thank you. You're very welcome.